We're starting the show with the most important questions that can be asked, not why I'm just like a youth pastor, a serious question. Who is going to win the games? James, Shady.
Talk some ball.
Who's going to win, but legitimately why? 39 years of NFL experience. We joke a lot on this show. It's the morning. We're glad y'all are here. You could watch any show. You're hanging out with us. But we want to also add some valuable insight. Jayden McCoy, you played 12 years in the league.
Really quick. I know there's like a way that we could like round that up to 40. Like I'm sure like one of us got.
Did you have a practice squad here that you didn't get like 40?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, he's 40. I could have played one more year.
Okay, look, enough with the jokes, LeSean. Who wins and why? Commanders, Eagles.
This is simple. You know, Andy Reid always talks about don't complicate things, right? Don't make this thing harder. We're a better team, right? I look at the Eagles, we're better all around. We have a better roster. I think we have better coaching, right? I've seen this team go to Super Bowl before, right? We've been here before. Another thing is I'm thinking about when we got to this point, if you just said that the Commanders would be in the NFC Championship game, right, and they lost, that's like a Cinderella story, right? You clapping at the end of that movie and you crying. How the hell did they do that? They were terrible last year. They're the number 2 pick overall and they got a new coach and they're in the NFC Championship game. If it was the Eagles, that story, we mad about that story, right? We throwing our popcorn, we leaving out. We want a refund because we expect to be there because we are a better team. When we got a Saquon Barkley, we added him. Before we even added Saquon Barkley, we was a Super Bowl type of bound team. And then you add him and he has 2,000 yards. You got a winning quarterback like Jalen Hurts. I'm not even going to talk about our wide receivers, but on the defensive side of the ball, I had a chance to talk to Aaron Donald yesterday, one of my good friends, one of my best friends. You know what he said? He said, Shady, I haven't been watching football like that in a long time. He said, that guy, Jalen Carter, bro, my replacement is here. Right?
Is that right?
So knowing all them things, and you look at their number 1 defense in football, the Eagles, yes, we're going to win this game because we're supposed to beat it. It's not no NCAA basketball story. I hate when I watch some games, you got North Carolina playing Duke and they lose. Okay, it's like, okay, hey, it's a good matchup. But when you got North Carolina or freaking Kansas, right, or UConn, they're going to lose to Davidson. That's a Cinderella story. That's what happen today. That's what happened this weekend.
No Cinderella.
So that's why we're going to win, because this is not no NCAA basketball.
It won't happen this weekend.
The Eagles are going to win the game because the Eagles do not make the fundamental mistakes that the Commanders have capitalized against previously teams. It's real simple. Like, oftentimes as football players will watch tape. And we'll watch tape and we'll see another team dominate. I vividly remember, I'll give you a collegiate story, I'll give you an NFL story. There was a quarterback in Nebraska called Taylor Martinez. Taylor Martinez could run like nobody's business. James, we're turning on the tape, 70-yard run, 80-yard run, 60-yard run. But when we turned on the tape, it was against Baylor, and it was against Kansas, and it was against Iowa State, but it wasn't against Texas. And I'm looking at this tape, and I'm like, bro, you're not even faster than our backers. You might not be faster than our DNs. You're surely not faster than our DBs. We went into Nebraska. I think Nebraska was the number 5 team in the nation at the time, and we beat them. Taylor Martinez did nothing because we are not who you was feasting upon. The Washington Commanders feasted on the Detroit Lions' ignorance defensively. Let's just roll some tape. I don't even care which tape y'all roll. I'm just going to talk about it. Austin Eckler, tackle this man. Go ahead and pause it right here. Get that man down. That's an 8-yard gain. Let it run. Instead, it turns from an 8-yard gain into a 24-yard gain. Tackle him. It took his own teammate to tackle him. Get to the Scary Terry play. I'm going to tell y'all when to pause it. Get to the next play. Right here. Watch this right here. Pause it. Turn him inside to Kerry Joseph, number 31, to Kirby Joseph, number 31, and that play is a 6-yard gain. Instead, it is a 62-yard gain. Let it play. The Philadelphia Eagles do not make those mistakes. Those are fundamental mistakes. Those are, you start every period in practice with individual drill. And when you start with individual drill, what defensive backs will do is, hey, when they throw the bubble screen, turn the receiver back inside so that the receiver who catches the ball has to run towards the cavalry. The cavalry, as we refer to in football, is all the other 11 players. The Eagles do not make the mistakes that the Lions made or the Bucs made. And I'll put it very simple for those that don't understand film as much with numbers. Last game against the Commanders versus the Lions, there were 188 yards after contact. 63% of the Commanders' yards was yak. Eagles don't play that yak. Eagles don't do that. Eagles allowed 95 per game this season, 47%. The Eagles don't make the fundamental mistakes that the Lions make. That's why the Eagles win.
I love that. And both those plays you showed, what was the defense doing for the Detroit Lions? They were blitzing Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels this postseason has been the best quarterback against the blitz. I don't think the Eagles can blitz him.
Yeah.
That's one point. That's really well said. The main reason I believe the Eagles will win the game, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Like he's going to get loose. We saw Jalen Hurts at practice yesterday. He was sort of gimpy. He was sort of limpy. What are they going to do with him? This offensive attack starts and it ends with Saquon Barkley. However, I want to go a little bit deeper than that. I'm looking at the trenches on both sides. We don't talk enough about the offensive line and the defensive line. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen were named to either All-Pro, Pro Bowl, or both. 4 out of the 5. They easily have the best offensive line in football. Saquon has easily the best running back season ever, in my opinion. Like just pure yards, touches, all that stuff. So Eagles offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage. And then the Eagles defensive line, Shady said it, Jalen Carter for me, he's been on the field for 97% of the snaps.
That's big.
A defensive lineman.
Superstar at that.
Like, that's wild to me to play those amount of snaps. He's second on the team this postseason with sacks, 2 sacks, 8 pressures. He controls that game. I don't think that Jayden Daniels is going to be able to have pockets like he's had in the first 2 playoff games versus Tampa and versus Detroit. I think Jalen, you're going to have to double him. And when you double him, what does it do? It leaves the one-on-one on the backside. So I don't think they're going to blitz him. I think they got to get and control the line of scrimmage. If they do that and Eagles play bully ball, I think they win.
Dang, everybody just sweep with the Eagles, huh? Commanders get no.
Don't complicate it, James.
Yeah, don't complicate it.
Eagles win, and Eagles
Obviously.
and Eagles win because, and I think the game will be closer than we think. But the Eagles win because the Eagles do what they do, and they do what they do all year long, and they do what they do at a high clip. The Eagles is not going to complicate the game, right? You know, I was hooping, you know, got a chance to go out there, get my cardio up, right? And Shady know I got a jump shot. So I'm out there. Yeah. So I'm out there, and I ain't been out there hooping in a minute. Buckets, shooting. The young fellas is, he ain't going by nobody. Well, I need to. I'm on out here. I'm going to do what I do. Ain't no need to change nothing up. Ain't no need. Why I'm going to the hole? Come down on somebody. Ain't no need to change nothing up. This is what I do, and I do it at a high level, and I win games doing what I am doing. Point blank, period. And that is what the Eagles are going to do. Best O-line in football, best defense in football. We're going to run the air out of the ball. We're going to play good defense, and that's how they win the football.
Shady McCoy, who wins? Bills, Chiefs. Why?
It's a tough one, though. It really is, right? Because even though Patrick Mahomes is the man, he's the guy, right? Josh is super close. I play with both of them. I could tell you why on other topic. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm going winning DNA, right? I'm going with a team that no matter what it looks like, they find a way to win. I'm going with the better coach, Andy Reid. Andy Reid finds ways to win. Once you game a guy like Patrick Mahomes, what's he do? Goes back and back and back to either Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game. And the last person I want to talk about, other than the team, is Patrick Mahomes. Listen, he gets a lot of heat for sometimes not looking so great and the offensive numbers ain't what it's used to look like. But one thing that looks the same to me is the results. They win. They find a way. If it's 1-score type games or if it's 25-point type games. Yeah. I think when the ball's in Patrick Mahomes' hands, he finds a way to get it done. I think that's the difference between him and any other quarterback I've been around other than Tom Brady is that no matter what the stats is like, I'm going to get the W, the biggest stat. And that's why they win. And the last thing is I look at, like, as a team, like, we're used to being here. Right? There's one team that's used to winning every game, and the other team's like, damn, we got close. We almost got them. 13 seconds, we got them. Oh, we lose. That's the Chiefs that they playing against. I think when you playing against that type of energy, that type of experience, it matters.
Absolutely. Chase, where you at with it?
I got the Chiefs. They're Chiefs, baby. Couple reasons. I do think this is going to be a much closer game. Everyone wants to talk about Andy Reid as, one of the best coaches of all time. And did you guys see this dummy, the sled that they had at Chiefs practice yesterday? There was a sled, and they had an image of Josh Allen on the dummy. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. Talk about, like, motivation for that. Like, go get him, right? They got to get to him. Josh Allen's like the least sacked quarterback in the NFL. I think it starts and ends with the defensive line for the Chiefs, specifically George Karlaftis, specifically Chris Jones. So I thought that was funny. Wanted to get that in there. But you want to talk about Patrick Mahomes, we talk about him not having, or at least I have, statistically, his worst year this year, and really the last 2 years, you would say, are the worst statistically of his career. He keeps winning. They're 22-1 in the last 23 games when he's a starter. But in his 3 playoff starts versus the Buffalo Bills, he's completing 75% of his passes for over 300 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, no picks. In the playoffs. Like over 300 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 126.6 passer. The reason they're going to win this game, to make it easy, it's because of Patrick Mahomes. Like what he's been able to do and how he's been able to do it. There's a little bit of a revenge factor, too, for the Chiefs. They got beat by 9. But the Chiefs have won, and this matters when you get into the postseason, when you get into the AFC Championship game. The Chiefs have won each of their last 16 one-possession games. 16 in a row, one possession. They know when the game's on the line. I think this is going to be a one-possession game. They know when the game's on the line how to break through, whether it be special teams like we saw against the Texans, whether it be defense, or whether it be Patrick Mahomes going nuclear against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win because of not only that experience, but Patrick Mahomes as well.
Ooh, 2 special quarterbacks.
Sir.
2 special quarterbacks going at it again for the 4th time. In this 4th matchup, I like Joshua. I like Joshua in this 4th matchup, and the main reason why I like Joshua, even though Patrick Mahomes was 15-1 all year long, Josh Allen's team was playing better than Patrick Mahomes' team all year long. Even though Patrick Mahomes is 15-1, Josh Allen has been playing better than Patrick Mahomes all year long. Even when they went head-to-head this year, Josh Allen played better than Patrick Mahomes. To win this game, Josh Allen is going to have to play better than Patrick Mahomes. And he has done that and been that all year long. To be honest, in my humble opinion, I think right now at this point, the Buffalo Bills are playing better football than the Kansas City Chiefs when you talk about defense, offense, special teams. I believe they are playing better football. If it is a time to go get Patrick Mahomes, it's a time to go get him right now. But Josh Allen has to be that dude. The ball was in his hands at the end of the game to close that game out the last time they played the Chiefs, and that's what he did. Yeah. He's going to have to do that again. But I am going with Joshua in this matchup. I think he finally gets over the hump of Patrick Mahomes and gets his team to the Super Bowl, and that's going to be a heck of a Cinderella story.
Brilliant.
You think the Bills?
I do.
Brilliant.
I think they're a better team right now than the Chiefs.
What James said, what Chase said, what Shady said. I found value in saying what I'm about to say. I found a lot of value in saying what I'm about to say.
Okay, all right.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. That was me yesterday.
I have no idea.
You got to pick, though.
You know, and here's my thing, Chase. I was talking to my dad one day. As my dad's gotten older, I found more value in having these conversations, just sitting down with Pop, you know what I'm saying? Dad's went to seminary school, all the things. So sometimes, Shady, I just ask Pops, like, hey, Dad, like, hey, what do you think about this arbitrary question in the Bible that nobody knows the answer to? You've been in ministry for 55 years. Now what you think about it? And one day he looked at me and he said, son, I don't know. He said, there's not enough information in this good book for me to tell you. So any answer would be a guess. I've rewatched the Bills-Chiefs game twice because I'm trying to bet on it. There is not enough information. There's not enough information for me to tell y'all. The Texans played the Chiefs week 16. They played man-to-man coverage 48% of the time. But when they played the Chiefs in the playoffs last week, they played man-to-man coverage 28% of the time.
Not what we thought.
Not at all what we thought.
We thought it'd be
the Bills played the Chiefs, I think, week 11. They played man coverage 34% of the time. I don't know what they're going to do in the playoffs. I do not know. If I was in the Bills meeting room, I could tell y'all who was going to win the game. But like Chase just said, not what we thought. I genuinely have no idea. Any answer I give you would be a lie. I love Chase's answer as it pertains to Patrick Mahomes. I like Shady's answer as it pertains to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I like James's answer as it pertains to Josh has been better than Pat all year and he already beat him head to head. But at the end of the day, there's just not enough information this season. Now, if you're talking equity, of course, Patrick Mahomes is a king, always bet on Pat. But there's not enough information this season to give a conclusive answer and a legitimized reason as to why. They're 16-0 in one-possession games in the last, but not all this year. They lost to the Bills already. I can't confidently say why.
They beat them by 9.
Well, for your paycheck.
Well, yeah.
If I have to pick,
put the little thing up. Put the, like on the bottom of the screen.
If I'm picking, I'm always picking the Chiefs.
Okay.
Always picking the Chiefs.
There we go.
Always, if I'm picking because I'm going back to equity like Shady's taught me, I'm going back to Patrick Mahomes like Chase has mentioned. If you have to pick, of course.
But in no way would you be surprised if the Bills win.
I won't be surprised either, though.
No.
Because like I said before, man, like we're in the Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid era. And even when we look back to Tom Brady and his era, like There was guys that got a win, got a championship here and
no
there.
doubt.
I think this year, if you tell me that Josh gets to Super Bowl, I could believe it because Josh is that good and that team is solid. Sean McDermott does a good job with that team. It's just hard to pick against Mahomes and Chiefs because every year they do it.
And that's the thing, though. There's no legitimized substantive data from this season.
It's like
alone.
Jason, dog.
Like Shady said, every year they do it. The best answer is, well, every year they do it. But what's that got to do with it?
So really quick, though, because you watched the game, because you're trying to bet on it, you watched it twice.
Yeah.
What do the Kansas City Chiefs do different in this game to win? Because they lost. What do they got to do different this game to win from watching the tape?
One, I think they have to do a better job of running the ball.
Yes.
Like, they did not do a good job at all of running the ball. Now, you also have to figure out who's your big dog. They play in this Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt game. Now, they lean into Hunt when it matters most. That's what's fascinating. Yeah. But crazy enough, again, because I'm trying to bet on it, I'll be watching, Isaiah Pacheco get the first 2 series. And he don't really do nothing with it. Then Kareem Hunt, he ends the game. Against the Houston Texans, Kareem Hunt ended with 40-plus yards, but he had the 40-plus yards in the last drive of the game. So, to me, it's like you have to run the ball better against the Bills. They didn't run the ball well at all.
Why'd you ask him that? I'm curious.
Because I'm just trying. He watched the game twice. I'm trying to figure out who he really thinks is going to win the game. Because if the Buffalo Bills stopped the run and they won, they probably going to stop the run again. How did the Chiefs win?
But that's why I didn't like the question because all last year, I seen a lot of teams better than the Chiefs in regular season. A lot of them.
Lost 6 games last year.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this year, you sure they're going to win this year? Because they don't look better than this team. They're playing better. And then they get in the playoffs, and none of that matters. That's why it's hard to go against the Chiefs no matter who it is, because at our worst, we still find a way to beat you.
Well, and this is something that I don't know, and as the lone defender at the desk, right? So Josh Allen's playoff record, he's 7-2 at home. He's 0-3 on the road. He's technically, statistically much better on the road. The biggest thing, though, in the Josh Allen era, the reason they're 0-3 is that defense is allowing 34 points a game on the road versus home they're allowing 17. Why is there, like, double the amount on the road? Because isn't it easier for a defender to call your plays on the road because it's quiet? Like, that's what people aren't talking enough about.
Not nearly.
How do you figure... Like, make that make sense to me.
What's crazy, we said this yesterday, and I love this show because oftentimes Shady's saying something I never thought of, Chase is, James is. When you said it yesterday, I was like, that makes no sense. Like, I got to figure out, is it coincidence, is it causation, or is it correlation?
It makes a lot of sense to me.
Like, for a defense should play better at home.
Better at home.
You know what I mean? A defense should play better at home than a defense plays on the road. So I can't figure out, like, why that makes sense. To Shady's point, though, in synthesizing all these points, the Chiefs make adjustments better than anybody.
Yeah.
So what the Chiefs did against the Bills in week 11 or 13, they not going to do again, bro. Go ahead.
You saying they give up 34 points on the road?
Yeah, on the road.
The defense does.
Yeah, I would figure that defense would be played better on the road because there's no noise.
So this is the difference, though. The defense, you said Josh Allen's numbers is way better on the road.
Yes.
Because Josh is scoring, dog.
Because he got to score, I guess.
And now the offense is different. When this Bills defense is on the road, Josh is putting up points. I mean, they won by 13 seconds. In one of them games, Josh was scoring. He almost scored 40. Yeah. So now the game plan for Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is different, too. Now we got to score, and we're throwing the ball. We ain't just handing it off to Kareem Hunt and Pacheco. You know what I'm saying? So the game plan is more aggressive. At home, they just beat the Ravens. It was really a solid game plan. It wasn't a lot of scoring. Control. It was really a solid game plan. But on the road, Josh's numbers is stupid, and he's putting up a lot of points.
So
now the defense is giving up a lot of points.
That's a good point,
you know what I'm saying?
You said he got to do it.
It's an aggressive game.
And Patty and them know. Yeah. You think Patty ain't taking the field right now like Josh gonna score?
27's the number.
There's no doubt about it.
I think they throw the ball vertical now, this game.
They're going to have to.
D-Hop's going to have
I'm listening to this is the Brady rule. If you want to know something about the team, right, listen to the interviews. And all the interviews they've been talking about how now they're going to get a shot to throw the ball. Right? You see Hollywood talking about it. You see Xavier Ware. I'm like, oh, so they about to throw the ball deep?
They're going to have to get some explosion.
They're going to have to.
It will be fascinating. We don't know what's going to happen with starting safety Taylor Rapp. Remember, he's dealing with an injury. Still don't know if he's going to play or not. DeMar Hamlin, oftentimes he's in the box, and his speed can for sure be threatened. Russell Douglas, he's great at taking the ball away. He don't like to tackle. We don't know what's going to happen to the other corner, number 47, Shady, is it Benford? Christian Benford.
Benford.
He had a concussion. So the Bills secondary.
Oh, he had a concussion?
Yeah, had a concussion last game.
That's why I was okay, because he was on the injury report. I was like, well, why is he on the injury report? Okay.
Bills secondary is
Concussed.
much maligned. Well, speaking of, what up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.